Dealing with a narcissistic parent can be one of the most challenging experiences a person can go through. While some people may choose to cut ties with their toxic parents in order to protect their mental and emotional well-being, for others, this may not be an option. One of the main reasons it may be difficult for you to go no contact with a narcissistic parent is the emotional attachment you have to them. Despite their hurtful behaviors, you must still love them and hope for a better relationship. You must still hope that one day they will say, "Well done, son," or "I'm proud of my daughter." The more you were denied love and validation, often the more you crave just one kind word from your parent, and the more you may hold out hope that one day you may be good enough for them, or at least be accepted for who you are. Our love and attachment to our parents are rooted in early childhood experiences where we learn to rely on our parents for love, care, and protection. Many narcissists are good or okay with their children in the first few years, where we could have formed an incredibly strong bond to our parents and an idealized image of them. As we grow older, our attachment styles may change, but the fundamental desire for love and connection still remains, and that initial bond and idealized image we formed of our parents will still be in our subconscious, and you may deep down yearn to have it back. Another reason why it can be hard for you to cut ties with a narcissistic parent is guilt and shame. You may feel guilty for abandoning them, especially if they are sick or near to their end, or have no one else to look after them. You may also be their only contact to the outside world, or the only one who visits them. You may also feel ashamed for even thinking of turning your back on your parent, and may feel that you are not a good child, or that you are not following your religion for cutting your parent off. You may also fear that you will feel regret for cutting them off and denying them a chance to change and reach out to you, or that you may miss their deathbed apology. Other family members may also guilt trip you or shame you for trying to cut ties with your parent, while they make excuses for the parent's behaviors or downplay the effects it has on you. Guilt and shame are extremely powerful emotions, which are especially difficult to overcome if you have been conditioned to believe that it is your responsibility to take care of your parent, or that you owe them your loyalty no matter what. You may also feel guilty about the idea of hurting or disappointing your parent, even if they have hurt you in the past. Fear is another common barrier to cutting ties with a narcissistic parent. Apart from fearing that you may destroy the only hope of ever getting validation, recognition, or acceptance from them if you cut them off, you may also be afraid of the repercussions of doing so. They may be the gateway to other family members, friends, connections, or even resources that you need or do not want to lose. There may also be the fear of what your parent may do out of revenge or spite. They may have considerable power in town or in the community. They may cause you to lose your job or may even wreck your marriage if they have control over your partner. You may also fear being isolated, especially if you live in a small community or have a strong religious community who will shun or even expel you if you turn your back on your parent. Many narcissistic parents refuse to accept their children for who they are, and you may feel as if you will never be good enough for them. They may also be abusive or dismissive toward you. Often we hold out hope that one day our parent will have a change of heart and be the parent we wish them to be, that we will do activities with them and connect emotionally with them. It is not an easy dream to give up, nor is it easy to let go of the hope that they will validate our worth and admit that they were wrong and are sorry for how they treated us. For there will always be the nagging thought, but what if I do this for them? Or what if I succeed in this way? Maybe then they will see me and be proud of me. The occasional hint your parent may give that they may change, coupled with the fear of you making a mistake by cutting them off and missing out on your dream of connecting with your parent, is often so strong that it can overshadow a lot of abuse and make you unable to cut contact with your parents. Because with this dream of connection and recognition from our parent comes a validation that we are worthy, that we are good enough, that we are lovable, and that we matter in the world. Cutting contact with a parent may feel like we are not just killing our dream, but also accepting that we will always be a failure in the eyes of a person we may seek validation from the most. Hope is often fueled by the belief that your parent deep down does love you and that they will eventually realize the harm they have caused you. So what do you do if you cannot let go of a narcissistic parent? The first and possibly hardest thing to do is to accept your parent for who they are and not for who you want them to be. That means letting go of a hope that they will one day change into your dream parent. This will drastically reduce your disappointment in them when you accept them to act the way they normally do, instead of you hoping that this birthday or this Christmas they will be different, only to be proven wrong. And if they do behave, then it will be a pleasant surprise. Boundaries is just a nice word for you drawing mental lines in the sand. Decide on what behaviors you will and will not take from them and how you will respond. You may decide that if they insult you when you do visit them, you will warn them once, and if they do it again, you will leave immediately. Or if you are talking on the phone, you may end the call. However, note that boundaries only work when you have something they want. If you are the one wanting contact and they cannot be bothered, then storming out when they criticize you is not going to bother them or stop them from criticizing you next time you visit. They may even start to do it more to push your buttons, which brings us to the next action. Think of all the ways your parent pushes your buttons. What do they say or do to get you emotional or hurt you? Then decide on how you are going to respond. You may decide to ignore them or call them out on their behavior or even give a witty comeback to them. See a link in the description to a video on how to shut someone down with witty comebacks. Realize that what they say or do has nothing to do with you or your worth, but that it is what they think will get them a validation and attention or reaction from you that they desire. Narcissists love to recruit others to take their side and support the narcissist. Try to get your own support to help defend you. This could be trying to get family members on your side or even bring a friend along. This is not to make a fight, but some narcissists are less likely to show their narcissism when others are around or when more than one person call them out on their behavior. If your narcissistic parent, however, loves looking for an excuse to fight or argue, then it may be best to just ignore them instead of trying to gang up against them. Enduring abuse is incredibly taxing on your mind and body. It will also over time make you doubt yourself. If you can, see a therapist or a professional who specializes in victims of abuse to help you cope with abuse. If this is not possible, try to at least have a friend or group you can open up to who will help you process your emotions and experiences. It is easy to get depressed and unmotivated when a parent devalues or criticizes you, and it can rip your heart and will to live out when they abuse you. Apart from mentally seeking help, also make sure you eat well, get as much good sleep as you can, and get some exercise. Maybe take walks in nature, do meditation, or join a gym. One of the best ways to reduce the abuse you endure is to limit the contact you have with your narcissistic parent. This may mean you have to stay in your room as much as you can if you still live with them, or try to be out of the house as much as you can. Try to learn their patterns so that you can run into them as little as possible. If you do not live with them, try to reduce visits or calls to the bare minimum. You can make an excuse of that you are busy and can only come see them once a week or month and can only afford 10 minutes or so on the phone. Another great way to deal with a narcissistic parent is to distract them and maybe asking them to give you advice if they pride themselves on their knowledge, or to let them show you what they have been working on since you last saw them, if they like to work with their hands, or ask them what they think about a certain relatively neutral topic. The aim is to keep a focus on them so that before they realize it, visiting time is over and they have not yet had a chance to criticize you. But when they do criticize you or put you down, realize it's only one person's opinion and that they do not define your worth and value in the world. Accept that in their eyes you may never be good enough, as well as that their happiness and actions are not your responsibility, nor is it your responsibility to change them. That is their responsibility. What is your responsibility is how you react to their words and actions. See the video suggested to you now to learn about the differences between narcissistic traits and narcissistic behaviors, and why the narcissist in your life may not always do the things listed in the DSM-5, or what is commonly claimed narcissists do.